the street respect. And you know say that it never counterfeit yet. Vibe where you get, make you really want to shout out. When you hear the lyrics coming on my mouth. No, because we got the street respect. And you know say that it never counterfeit yet. Vibe where you get.
Found the sound 99.9 FM.
Scratch and win with Mega Power Fives, the new $10 instant scratch ticket from the Caribbean Lottery. 25 chances to win $105,000 on each ticket. What are you waiting for? Mega chances, mega winnings. Get yours today. Scratch and win today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a great morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali.
Thank you, Kevon. It's good to be here.
You're welcome. I see a pause. A pause because I was expecting it. See?
You're learning.
Preparation.
Yeah.
However, it is the weekend. Tis upon us, and wait, this weekend is tropics, right?
Tis the weekend to be jolly.
Yes, this weekend
and
is
scanty.
This is clad. This is tropics
Scantily
weekend.
clad, yeah. Jade, is your swimsuit ready?
You going in a swimsuit or like a outfit?
Remember Jade's clean now, you know? Jade can wear what she want.
I'm wearing a swimsuit, however, I'm not sure if it's ready yet.
Oh, it's being handcrafted.
Everything else is ready, yes?
But the swimsuit is being handcrafted. Okay.
Wow.
Well.
Good up, girl. custom weird, so. Maybe Kim Kardashian.
But tropics is upon us. And for those of us that will be attending, be safe. You know. we discuss it all the time on the show. Drink responsibly. Seriously, drink responsibly, and enjoy yourself. But of course, when it's time to go home, understand that you're
Just
not
sleep
the
there
only
till the next day.
one. Right, you're not the only one on the road.
Yeah, it's a hotel.
I've done it before.
Next day Sunday.
Yeah, just you're not the only one on the road, and we want everybody to reach home safely. So be responsible. Get a designated driver. If that's not an option, plan.
There's some nice couches by the pool.
Plan the time you're gonna leave, and stop drinking probably 2 hour or 2 before, and start drinking some water to sober up. Because let's keep we want to keep a country clean. We want to keep the roads accident free as well.
Keep a country clean.
Yeah.
Well, keep you alive.
Yeah, we want to keep the country clean, and we want to keep the citizens alive. So
Yeah, if you get a car accident, it's gonna dirty the road.
gonna dirty up the road.
Oh yeah.
The lights can
And then
shatter.
and then now we have a rectifiable economy, which isn't recyclable. I mean, it's pollution.
Yeah. So keep it. Let's be safe.
Do you have a checklist of things that patrons should remember to bring?
Yes, here we go. Let's give the checklist for patrons.
Your ID, your mask, and your ticket.
So that have to be in the ticket as well.
Yes, that's very important as well. But your ID, please make sure you walk with your ID.
Folks, you will not be allowed to enter the venue unless you have a valid
ID.
photo ID.
So your
Government
passport,
issued.
your social
Driver's
security,
license, social security
driver's
card, your national
license,
voter card.
those kind of things.
I think that's it though.
Yes.
We don't know more it is.
Don't bring a birth certificate, please.
There's no picture on it.
There's no picture on it.
That's one thing that used to make me laugh. People used to bring birth certificates to a place where I used to work in a bank, and see me birth certificate here. I don't know if that's you.
But
Watch me here.
But the thing is, right? You know what I never understood with our birth certificates? Why are they still handwritten?
I don't know.
They're still handwritten?
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't been born for a while, so.
They're still
So
The
you're
last time I
not-
was born was 89.
Amali, where's your birth certificate?
It's in my.
Nobody does know,
Kevon, where's yours?
Well, I know exactly
I know
where it
mine
is.
I know exactly where mine is.
I don't.
But shame to say. Actually, no, me shame to say. It used to be in a shoebox, but now it's in like
a folio.
a nicer shoebox.
Oh.
So your mother doesn't have it like a regular human being?
No, she used to have them, but
No, parents like to keep the documents under wrap.
Hello?
Not
my
just that,
my
but-
mother probably has my birth certificate. I have my passport finally.
the mothers keep them safe, eh? But when you're ready for them, sometimes it takes them a while to get them to you.
Yeah.
You got to
that's
beg.
I have a passport now, and what I'm like, oh, when I come in, I got to go look for it. Like,
And then the wait
I
is
know,
in
I know where it is, I know where it is.
I know where
Just
it
tell me
is. I see it last year, October. So when I have my documents now, I want them now. So I have all my documents, my passports, and my certificates.
You know what I always
and
find
my-
interesting? Like, where I was going somewhere and I couldn't make it home. I was rushing, and I needed my birth certificate. So I just went and got a new one. It was
You couldn't be bothered.
I was like, how this go? Like, I'm gonna just go again, your birth certificate. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Where does one do that? By the hospital?
No, the McKnight
The clinic, health
health
They have
clinic.
all the records for everybody born in Vegas?
Well, I think mine is there because maybe I was born in that.
In Bastille?
Yeah, in Bastille. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, my mother was like, well, if you ain't going home, go buy some stamp and go across by midnight. So I was like, oh, is that easy?
Interesting.
And
I actually did.
and they waiting for you for weeks to get this thing.
With mine, it's a bit more difficult. I wasn't birthed here.
Yeah.
My
And mine isn't
condolences.
handwritten. Your condolences?
Yeah. I mean, at least you're here now.
But anyway, so
I came to my senses.
so for our Tropics fans, don't forget your ID. You will not be allowed entry. And everybody, why need to bring ID?
Please don't
Here's
forget
why.
it.
Here's why you need your ID. Because we want the event, the promoters.
It's NEOC.
It's NEOC protocols, and they need
And
to
please
have
don't run to the venue door,
records.
because next thing you know, you send up your temperature, and the temperature
Yes.
check tell you
We
you
mean-
can't
we-
come inside.
It won't spike it that much.
Drive
but
over there in
remain
AC
cool.
and stroll to the door.
Please.
A
remain
light
cool.
stroll.
And then we also have to, people like to pre-game to go to these fests. Remember, alcohol makes you hot.
People are free in Vegas?
Yes.
People are free game. What are you
Take
talking
it,
about?
people that's program for no reason.
Yes. So remember, alcohol makes you hot, and
In a constant game, Amali.
enjoy yourselves. It is upon us in a few hours, so to say. Yeah, let's take a very, very short break and we'll come back with some cross-Caribbean link-up.
With Observer Radio in Antigua.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Scratch and win with Mega Power Fives, the new $10 instant scratch ticket from the Caribbean Lottery. 25 chances to win $105,000 on each ticket. What are you waiting for? Mega chances, mega winnings. Get yours today. Scratch and win today.
Government wins with a reduced majority. In Jamaica, you have a low voter turnout, and the government maintains a huge increase in terms of their popular support. That is fascinating, and I think, the pandemic is clearly a factor, but the question is also who decides as a result of the pandemic not to come out.
Right.
I've been playing around with the data so far, and one of the things I always talk about is this idea of voter popularity, which is the extent to which they have been able to penetrate the electoral rolls. In the case of the Jamaica Labour Party, it has fallen by 11%. In the case of the TMP, it's fallen by 33%, which is almost 3 times as much.
Stick up in there,
So,
Peter. 1 second. Just to introduce our good friend Clive Backus. He's joined us on the line.
okay.
All right. Clive, good morning.
Hi,
Welcome.
good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing this morning? Happy Friday to you.
All right, we're doing fine. Thank you. And I would have loved for our good friend Damien to be a part of the program this morning, but we've going to give him a break because he worked until the wee hours of the morning covering this vote. And Peter is just conducting an analysis of the numbers from last night. And then, Clive, I'll invite you to ask a question regarding the elections or anything else you want to ask Peter. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. Sorry about that, Peter. Just needed to introduce
No problem.
you.
Clive, good morning. It's good to be on with you again.
Yes, man. Always a pleasure.
Right, good. Yeah, no, I was saying that the idea of voter popularity, party popularity, which is the ability to penetrate the list of voters at the national level, and in both instances where there were decreases, which means that both parties brought out less of the total voters that were available than in the previous election. Mm-hmm. But in the case of the Jamaica Labour Party, it was 11%. In the case of the PMP, it was 33%. So it would say that for every one voter that the Jamaica Labour Party didn't bring out, the PMP didn't bring out 3. Which means that in addition to the pandemic, or alternatively, we can argue that the pandemic affected voter turnout across the board, but something affected the PMP voter turnout even more so. So I suspect it would have been pandemic issues, yes, but also a lack of enthusiasm on their part for what they were seeing. And that to me will prompt a fascinating analysis as we go forward.
Yeah. Clive?
Yeah, I think we're going to have an analysis of voting during pandemics, this COVID-19 elections issues, some of the issues there in terms of voter turnout and all that. I guess when things quiet down, we'll be able to do that. But looking at it now without the COVID-19 factor, what are some of the changes you're seeing, Peter, in terms of the demographics, in terms of age, in terms of actually people actually paying attention to issues? Because Mr. Holness now has won, a 3rd term? And that's not something you do very often.
Yeah. No, I mean, your point is important, that the question is who voted and why did that person vote. And the challenge that we have is that we don't have exit polling in the Caribbean. We also don't have an analysis of voter participation by age. So I'm assuming that it's older people who didn't vote and that the younger people did. But it's an assumption, and it's unfortunate that I can't really verify that with reference to any kind of data. But it does appear as though perhaps the traditional voter that would have gone out and voted significantly. And I mean, in some of the Jamaica Labour Party's seats where there were like 60% support, and I normally say that 60% support is a safe seat, and they lost seats that were in that vicinity. So it's clear that there were this hardcore PMP voters that would normally have come out and support them that didn't. I know that person is obviously an old person. So my inclination is that, yeah, it would have been the youth factor. And, you know, the youth was energized by Prime Minister Holness, there's no question about it. And I think in many instances, you know, Peter Phillips, Dr. Phillips was dead in the water because people felt that he didn't have the youthful enthusiasm to be able to compare. Having said that, look at Lisa Hanna. I mean, Lisa Hanna struggled home to a 44-vote lead. That, to me, I would have assumed that if it was a youth factor, I mean, she carries the same kind of excitement from young people that the Prime Minister does. And in that environment, you know, how is it that she struggled home by 44 votes? And she herself had almost 6% of the total popular vote going in.
Mm. Yeah. And the number of female parliamentarians, well, soon to be well, I guess you could say they are parliamentarians. I guess they'll be sworn in or whenever there's the next sitting of Parliament. But is that a record, Peter, as far as you know?
Yeah, I'm hearing that certainly female parliamentarians, and then, you know, younger people, it's going to be a significant number that the Jamaica Labour Party is running going in. So I think that the gender balance is clearly in favor of the women, which is a good thing. And then, yeah, young people, you know, there are many young people who were able to save their seats, and there will be new young people going in, which means that the future for JLP is bright. The other thing is that they're talking electoral reform. They're talking about term limits. They're talking about, you know, reforming the integrity systems. And I'm hoping that with this parliamentary majority and the level of public enthusiasm, they'll be able to get some of these things done, which means that they can reform the system in a significant way.
Yes, let me ask you, Clive, did you get a chance to listen to the victory? Well, he didn't say it was a victory speech. I think he said, he coined it in a particular way, Lord, I don't remember. But he didn't want to use the word victory because he didn't want to come across as though he was gloating. But did you hear his remarks last night upon recognizing that he had won, Andrew Holness?
No, unfortunately, no.
Oh, okay. What about you, Peter?
I listened to both speeches. Certainly the concession on the part of the PMP that was given by, it wasn't the leader, but it was given by, I believe he was the manager. Paul Well, right?
Yes.
I thought that it was gracious. I didn't really lose a lot of sleep over the fact that the president, the leader of the party, didn't do it. He made the call. And, you know, I thought that Paul Well was gracious, and he acknowledged that, you know, the campaign was clearly better. He stepped down, and I liked the graciousness with which he spoke, and I also liked the fact that there was no triumphalism in terms of what the Prime Minister said. You know, he said they won an election, and they're happy that they won. But he gave a lot of quarter to the opposition to suggest that the opposition may have ideas and that Jamaica has to run in a way that allows all persons, not just people who voted for them, to be able to participate. And he also said that there's some rough days ahead, which is pretty obvious. So I was happy with both the concession and the victory speeches.
Okay, yeah. I thought he struck a very good tone, a positive tone, and he also did acknowledge corruption. He acknowledged that corruption was an issue within his party, and he was going to address it. What do you think about his comments on that?
I mean, myself or Clive?
No, you. Well, me? Clive said he didn't hear the speech, so I can't put it to him.
No, the mention of corruption was important. I mean, it's like the elephant in the room. It's difficult not to notice it. You remember that the Jamaica Labour Party has been struggling with that of late, and then it's pretty obvious that it's a concern on people's part. The fact that he is distancing himself from it to some extent and saying that they will take an active part in looking into it. I think it's important, especially in an environment where one could argue legislatively he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to give quarter. And the fact that he wants to, and he's saying that we will look at integrity, we will look at those issues. As I said, it was a really great victory speech. because he touched all of these points, many of which he didn't need to, in a sense suggesting that he will become a self-policing force within the party. And it was interesting because when I listened to Prime Minister Motley when she took office in Barbados, she said many of the same things. And she talked about the need to embrace the opposition. She talked about the need to police oneself, and the fact that, if necessary, that she would become her own opposition to ensure that the people in the parliament would be kept on their heels. So it was a similar tone.
All right, Clive, what's your assessment of the elections that have taken place so far? The only change that I can recall is Suriname, there was a change in Suriname. There was a change in Guyana. So South America has the monopoly on change, but everybody else, the incumbents won.
Well, that's a long story. You sure you want to go down that road? You sure you want to bring Guyana into this conversation? I don't think you want to do that, But that's a program by itself. But getting back to Peter, just two things. Not very often you hear the leader of a party going into an election saying, "If I lose, I will step down." Because the question now is, why are you going anyway? If it's so easy to step down, you just want to win, and then if you don't win, you're going to stop. So we heard from the leader of the opposition in Jamaica saying, "Well, look, if I don't win, I'm going to step down," and that put a lot of spotlight on his age. The other issue is that in the age of COVID, our adversarial politics, our competitive politics, is always we versus them. But COVID is calling for some consensus building to be able to defeat COVID in terms of its spreading in the population. So the tone that we're accustomed to in terms of we versus them, I'm glad you mentioned that Mr. Holness's lease has articulated a view that is more of we rather than them.
Yep. Peter, you heard that?
No, I heard that, but I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. When the comment about him stepping down, I listened last night to the analysis because I was on one of the panels, and they were talking a lot about the fact that he shouldn't have said this thing going into an election. Well, for me, I thought that was brutal honesty on his part. This is not the first time Dr. Phillips has said it. Dr. Phillips has said that to me personally. Dr. Phillips has said it publicly on more than one occasion before. That for him, it's now or never. He has been in the vineyard.
Peter, I just stick a pin. A listener who is a friend of mine, who happens to be from Jamaica, is saying, "Let's see if Peter Phillips actually steps down." In other words, she's not taking that to the bank yet. She's going to wait until she sees it to believe it. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Peter.
He's going. I think he's going. And as I said, he has been in this vineyard for a long time. Remember that he was back in the vineyard with P.J. Patterson. And I mean, he's served at all levels. He's been Minister of Finance. He's been Minister of National Security. And frankly, I think that for him it was now or never. Right. He understands the problem that the PMP is facing now. And I mean, truth be told, he indicated that he felt that the shift was in the direction of younger leadership a long time ago. And I think that his feeling was, look, if this thing can work out, I'm going to do the best I can for my country. And if it doesn't work out, I have to accept that my political career is at an end. And I thought it was brutal honesty. I saw nothing wrong with it. And, I was listening to him and saying that I wish that my good friend Dr. Douglas in St. Kitts and Nevis would have said the same thing, because they would have saved us a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. There are too few leaders in the Caribbean. In Antigua, my good friend Lester Bird. Similarly, when you have been in a vineyard for as long as you have and you don't win at the level of the leadership, you need to look at moving on. And, there's a good tradition in the UK that you get one chance. In the United States of America, you get one chance, other than Joe Biden, of course. But by and large, the idea is that you shouldn't fail and come back again. And I think that he was right to set that. And I really feel that we need to have a conversation now about who's the next leader of the PMP, and that is the one that I think is going to be exciting.
Who do you see?
I'm sorry?
Who do you see? When you look through your crystal ball, Peter's crystal ball.
But I don't think that Clive would disagree that there's only an obvious candidate, and that's Lisa Hanna. And I mean, she seems to have the gender balance that Jamaicans like if you look at the numbers of women that were elected. Mm-hmm. She is the most exciting person. I mean, she limped home, quite frankly, as a candidate, but nonetheless, I think that she's in pole position for the leadership of the party. She has resolutely supported Dr. Phillips. she was not part of this battle to take leadership away, and I noticed that the other contender lost his seat as well, and I think that was probably a bit of unique justice, one could argue. So I think that she's in pole position, and my sense is that there are not a lot of other people that need to apply. Damian Crawford was a person whose name was mentioned. He's not a factor now either. So I'm inclined to think, that it will probably be her that will emerge from the ashes. I don't know what guys think.
I forgot Anguilla.
I agree.
How could I? And I introduced.
Right.
I spoke to the man in charge, the premier, as well as one of his candidates, a successful candidate who was former Miss Miss Black UK Miss Universe. I think I'm mangling that, but the listeners will forgive me. They know who I'm talking about because they remember the interview. It was a spectacular one. So how could I have forgotten little Anguilla? But yes, gentlemen, we're going to have to wrap it now. Unfortunately, Clive, everything okay in St. Kitts, real quick?
Oh, yes, man. Things are doing fine. Of course, you're just getting ready for the reopening of borders. I want to thank Peter for being here this morning as well. And, of course, always a pleasure talking to you, Darren. And you guys have a great day today, all right? Take good care.
Yes, you as well, Clive. You as well.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Peter?
Well, that's our link up with Observer Radio in Antigua and Barbuda. And we sign off now and hand you back to some good morning tea, IT. And you've got the guys talking about tropics and where to find their birth certificates and all that interesting stuff coming up right here on the morning show, right here on a Friday morning. So back to Island Tea. That's coming right up.
Different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
This is your official invitation to the Conscious Party.
Get conscious. Get down to business every Wednesday from 4 to 6 with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Select the Highest, Strictly Positive and Conscious Music and Conscious Business on Win FM 98.9, winfm.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Chat of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call Win FM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
I can, yeah. my two hands in the air as far as I can.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Bust this one, oh, Gates.
Well, welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali. It's a beautiful Friday. Still, the weekend is upon us.
Yes, a lot could have changed in the last 20 minutes.
It could have. We could have done the way 2020 been moving. We could have been in November, and we didn't even realize.
That'd be good because November is something special.
Interesting. Let us proceed with some tea time.
Yeah, I'm flappy, eh? Jesus, I tell you, being fat, yeah.
Work on it, boss. Work on it.
Yeah,
There's
trying.
some tone. Yeah.
Yeah, trying. I start to go walking in the morning.
Push-ups.
I've been saying that for a year.
Yeah.
Boss, I was saying I go in gym for like at least 12 years.
I started gym and then stopped. And then I keep, for the past 5 years, I keep saying I'm going to start tomorrow.
Jen, what do you do to become so voluptuous and delicious?
Well,
Because for the folk listening, Jade,
we're not going to revisit my past. I love it.
how do I phrase this without sounding sexist and misogynist?
You can't.
Jade was a bit fluffy
at
first.
I tried to stop you from saying it.
She was a bit fluffy, as was I. I was fluffier than I am now.
Yes, we were a fluffy bunch.
Yeah, we were two pigs in a blanket.
No, y'all are slimmers.
Do y'all remember Kirby?
No, we had two string beans.
Slimmers.
So what I did, well, firstly I started. Well, all this was motivated because I wanted to go St. Lucia for Carnival.
Of course.
So not your health, I understand.
That too. However, I needed, because I saw the lineup for St. Lucia, and I know there was nowhere for me to possibly have the energy to do all the things that I was paying for without me making a lifestyle change. So I started exercising.
Jay Johnson, an true Hollywood story. Go ahead.
I started exercising, and then I started eating better. Like I stopped drinking sugar completely. I stopped eating bread. So I cut out, and there was, yeah. And the funny thing is, right, there's a bakery next to my old job, so that was very difficult. Yeah, so I stopped eating all the bakery patties and all of that for breakfast. And then, well, I love water anyway, so I drink only water.
But yeah, I love drinking water right now, innit?
Yes, I drink only water.
And Azim has grapes and cucumbers in his water.
Yes, we are a healthy bunch.
I still try, but I can't. The water thing, it's a transition because I really like juice.
No, you really like Ribena. You like juice. You like Ribena.
You like drink.
I like Ribena.
Ribena in the juice.
Literally just Ribena.
Yeah, I really like Ribena.
That's all you drink, Visual?
I really like Ribena.
Ribena, whoever is your rep, you should sponsor Kevon.
But the thing about it, the Ribena ain't even taste the same.
No, what I like to do is I like to buy the syrup. You know, there's the mixture.
Oh, yeah, the syrup.
So you mix it thick.
I could mix it to the level of
pungency that you want.
Right, because the old one was very flavorful and rich. The new one a little watery. I like to mix it so it's what it used to
a lot
be.
of sugar, the new one.
Yeah, a lot of these drinks having, and I realized it's because I started that's another thing I did. I counted my calories, and if you read the actual ingredients, you're gonna be like, whoo. You're gonna feel it.
It helps a lot too with not just weight loss, but with cell regeneration, fasting.
That's what I did as well. I was getting to that. That's one of the biggest things that I did. I fasted, and that really helped.
Well, what's your fasting schedule? Routine?
I fast for 11 hours a day.
Which is from?
Whenever I finish eating, to the next time I eat.
So whenever you finish eating,
I would have a nice round, substantial meal at midday, and the next time it will be midday the next day. And until between, then I drink some water and unsweetened tea, and if I feel if my meal was like too light and not heavy on fats like nuts and avocado and so, and I start to get a little munchy in the evening, I would have a handful of nuts.
Yeah, I do restricted eating too, and like intermittent fasting. So I have my first meal at like midday, and then I try to stop eating at around 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So you fast for 16 hours?
Yeah, I'm a 16-hour guy. And the thing about it, my body adapted so much that like now I don't even feel hungry.
Yeah, it's easy after like the first week or so.
I started doing it after Jay told me. I started doing 7 to 10, or whenever I get home after the show.
Let me tell you something, right? I feel like it after a while you don't miss it, but let me tell you that first. Like maybe 2 weeks when you just start doing it because your body's so accustomed. It's not that you're hungry, you actually tricked your body into thinking that's the time.
Especially if you consume a lot of sugar.
Yeah, that's when
sugar is actually more addictive than cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know because but anyway.
Sugar is they say between 8 and 9 times more addictive than cocaine.
Yep, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, so when you cut that out,
you see the doctor says so. Me like.
Sugar is a killer. Sugar is a killer.
Yeah. So if we cut down on our sugar intake especially and implement, I'm not going to recommend fasting for anybody because I'm not a doctor.
No,
I'm just saying what worked for me and what worked
but doctors recommend it.
No, but our bodies, the enzymes in your bodies, right? They work for 12 hours. So it's like whenever you put something in your body, the first thing that is not water, like your enzymes start activating to break down the food. And after 12 hours, they go back. Hey guys, we're checking out till tomorrow.
Clock out.
Yeah. So
and what happens is when you reduce your sugar intake, that drastically cut out the juice and the carbs and so. Sorry, you replace it with natural fats, your nuts and your beans and your avocado, butter, things like that. And your body starts to run fat, and then when that fat finishes, you start to eat your fat cells.
Yeah. But this is the thing with me,
that's why
right?
it became sexy.
Oh, that's what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was jeans. But
jeans made me handsome, but not sexy. Yeah.
Oh, right. But at the same time,
sexiness is a lifestyle.
I have a confession. Like I can't. Like carbs is a problem for me. I love pasta.
Yes.
I love pasta. Like that's my weak point. So that's why I have to. But you see, the thing is, when you're intermittent fast, right? You don't have to study what you eat as much.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to study what you eat as much. Like you could be a little more lenient.
Yeah, but you just have better results if you cut out the other things as well. But if you're intermittent fasting, you're good. There's a guy I follow on Instagram. I can't remember his name, but he intermittent fasts. He has one meal a day, but it's a giant meal.
Yeah,
and he works out heavily.
And it's more so satisfying, eh?
This man eat like a whole pizza by himself.
Is it a black guy?
That's a heavy meal?
Stuff is always blue, like his backgrounds are always blue?
No, he's a guy and he always shirtless and gone a butter.
Oh, okay, yes.
And his girlfriend.
So wait, a pizza is a big meal?
No, that's a
large pizza for himself.
For Kevon, eh?
Yeah. And the super says he meals too.
And
he meals like his meals, if I eat them once a day, I'm dead. Like he would make like a candy pizza.
No.
Like the dough is like cinnamon.
Cinnamon roll. Cinnamon roll.
Right? And you just top with M&M's and Hershey chocolate and so on.
Yeah. I think you should stop following him, Amali.
To burn.
No, I never tried it. I'm not gonna take it.
But he does work out to burn off all of that
but
anyway.
He works out. He goes to the gym twice a day.
Right.
Yeah, he need the sugar for that.
Totally
and he used to be almost 400 pounds.
I don't think that's the only thing he eats. I feel like he does that for the YouTube aspect.
Probably.
He posts his meat every day. I'm gonna show you.
I don't think one large pizza is a big meal because
that's his only meal.
For you to say
pizza cannot be his only meal.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
For y'all to say that's his one meal a day.
Man, they post lunch every day.
That's one of my meals of the day.
And if you didn't see making it too.
Yeah, I can't do the whole pizza.
But he don't do that every day. Only Sundays would do like something crazy like on a Friday or so. But usually, like I've seen him make a pizza with chicken nuggets and French fries and other things on it, like fast food things. He can eat whatever he want.
Yeah, but you see the thing is, right?
But he has a metabolism and he works out very, very, very,
very. Yeah. But just the thing about that is, you could look fit and trim and not really be healthy.
And dead in,
yeah. So that's another thing.
You need to watch it.
But the thing about intermittent fasting that I like is that now my meals are so much more satisfying.
Yeah.
Like the food just tastes so much better.
So much better. And it's also good for you. Do you know how much time we spend a day trying to figure out and making something to eat?
Yeah.
When you know you're only having 2 meals a day, hour a day, right? You know, but tomorrow we're eating tomorrow. Today, we're eating tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow I'm gonna wake up at 11, put some clothes in laundry, and I'm gonna go to my booties for a fish soup and a salad. And that's it for us.
Well, I'm doing that every Saturday, so that's
easy.
a cheat code.
Yeah.
And I'm doing conch chowder by boozies every Saturday, so that's a cheat code.
Sure. But yeah, man, that's religion.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. And some yesterday I had quinoa and then butter.
Jade, you really come here, come tell people about quinoa? How long you supposed to bring the quinoa with the broccoli for me?
How long are you supposed to bring ribs for us?
Yeah, Jade, so she was gonna cook us ribs and.
I told y'all I was cooking y'all.
But we asked.
You told. Oh,
I told you that I'm bringing you. I didn't tell you that I'm making y'all ribs. Suppose I can't cook ribs.
Anyway, so before the argument breaks out, let's jump into some tea time, hee because y'all about to go off on each other, and I do not want to participate. So
I am leaving.
You see, it starts. So let's start off quick with some regional news that happened yesterday. So Jamaica had its elections yesterday, and Licks was shielded. So
tis rough.
JLP reigned supreme in the elections yesterday, and this is the largest JLP margin of victory since the 1980s. Apparently JLP, well, not apparently, it's confirmed, they went up 15 seats.
Wow.
15 seats. So now they now
hold how much?
60 something.
Wait, okay, start over.
It increased by 15 seats.
They
increased by 15 constituencies from the last election season, which was 2016. So they now have 49 constituencies.
How much?
Hold on. And PNP lost the 15 seats, and they now only have 14 seats.
Wow. Licks are back.
Licks.
But Andrew, bang them across the back by.
Bye.
The 3 lashes them too.
The 3 lashes. Ready, set, go.
Ready, set, and go.
So out of a total of 63 constituencies, JLP holds 49.
Wow. That's crazy. PNP, I believe it was the ad.
PNP holds 14. And
you know it is as well too?
What?
Jamaica's the government's keen interest and support for the arts.
Big, yeah.
That's why you're checking the victory too.
Olivia Babsy Grange was working the last 5 years.
I believe Amali just love Babsy.
So this is what
Yes, Babsy and the next woman had a sound clash at time there.
Yeah.
You see the sound clash?
Yep.
That's a gangster, yeah?
So
the woman had dub plates.
She had dub plates from Beanie Man and the Man and so.
Jay, can we put up this image on the live? I'm gonna send it to you, for the viewers to see the previous constituency map for 2016 and the current, which is quite astounding. Like the difference, it went from a colorful map, almost a 50-50 in constituencies, to basically a slice of cake. So we're gonna try to gear that up to put it up on the live for the viewers. Because you have to see it. I think you really have to see it. But let's talk about the Jamaica voter turnout. So in 2017, the voter turnout was 61.46% of eligible voters who turned out. 2011, it decreased to 53%. 2016, it decreased to 48%. And in 2020, it is now at sort of a mind-blowing 37% of voter turnout. So we're putting it up on the live right now, so you can see the difference in the constituency map from the 2016 results and now the 2020 results, and you can see that some areas have held their seats, some have lost their seats. It's mind-blowing, to be honest. It's here. PNP lost 15 seats. JLP gained 15 seats.
PNP need to go back to the drawing board.
No independent parties won.
They maybe need to buy a board.
But it's.
I see a video with a man last night in a PNP shot, and somebody asked him what he think about elections. The man said, "I will never, never vote for Labour Party, but they're going to be in power for a very, very long time. Have a good day." I walk off.
Kevon.
Hi.
So we've gotten some data. Would you like to read it out?
Which one?
Look in the identity chart.
Yeah, I don't read it.
That's what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The voter turnout.
Jay, where was it?
I don't know, my phone.
No, she was setting up the image.
So I didn't realize.
She was preoccupied?
Yeah. So, and the thing is, Jamaica's ballots are electronic. Jamaica's has an electronic ballot system. It's like Scantron, which is like, multiple choice, like CXC multiple choice.
You fill in the thing?
You fill it in.
Shade it.
You fill it in, and then a machine records the response.
That makes sense. They invested in the electoral system.
It's a
imagine
strange.
that. Imagine
that. So Jamaica, actually, interestingly enough, which I found very, very fascinating, they have a website that you can go on, and basically get live election results as they are posted. It's called JamaicaDecides.com. You can go on it and you'll see this map, and you can click on the map and it'll break down the votes for you. It'll tell you who got what
investment in their system.
It was actually really fascinating, and it tells you, undecided. So that means all the votes aren't done yet, but here's what it's looking like so far, and then
in
it
real
tells you
time?
decided. Yep. So here's the actual map. So you could tap, and you can see declared who got what.
There's gonna be an app next election.
And you tap the constituency, and it breaks it down for you. And then at the
mobile,
bottom tells you overall seats.
Trust me, we can get one.
We can
get no.
Yeah. So if you want to get more like data on Jamaica's elections, you can go to JamaicaDecides.com, and it's an interactive map. You click on a constituency, it tells you the candidates, it tells you the votes, and so off.
Well, Kevon, I don't say that, if next election we're going to improvements, I may vote in him. And I will advocate for people not to vote to him.
Yeah, but
it's outrageous. It's outrageous.
One of the most nail-biting decisions coming out of the elections, though, was Lisa Hanna, and everybody was sort of looking at her because she's like a political celebrity in Jamaica. Lisa Hanna, and she won her seat by only a 14 vote difference.
Wow.
So
I wonder how many of them seats were like on the edge, like under.
I think she was the closest one. I think she had the closest difference. The JLP candidate, Delroy Granston, had 5,110 votes, and Lisa Hanna for PNP had 5,124. So literally a 14 vote difference.
Wow.
Is what
She gonna say just like what Patrick said in 2015. I said, Patrick, when we interviewed him on the election, Bailey, I said, Patrick, last election you won by 4 votes. Patrick said, I only need to win by 1. That win is a win, A win
is a win.
Look here, quote of the weekend.
Quote of the weekend, I only wanted 1.
A win is a win. But Jamaica is done. The elections were the results were done at about 11 o'clock, 11 p.m.
So next election we expect that we won't have days of waiting, because if a place like Jamaica, who is like 20,000 times bigger than St. Kitts, could be finished without. No, so nobody had no recount and anything. Like nobody was.
Yeah,
there.
but they have to recount apparently, but the decision is made. They're just gonna recount.
Yeah.
And then edits will be made if necessary.
How many court cases?
Hey. Saying is like you told them.
Yeah, the decision was made.
No longer.
Wait.
In line.
So
to host to vote ever again in my life.
So around 9 p.m. Jamaica time, which was 10 o'clock our time, it was official, and they conceded and
9
everything,
PM.
and they recounted, and they recounted in the night.
Last night.
And then the second recount is gonna happen today, just to double check, triple check.
Everybody on the same page.
Right.
We're going boom,
But
boom,
then
bam.
because the fact is that they also have electronic ballots, it's easy to recount because.
Yep.
Yeah, but we see that, and that's just a trend, because we see in the last few years, in the last 2 years, we see countries just doing landslide, even Antigua had ABLP had 15 constituencies, UPP 1 and BPM 1. We see in Grenada, it was all 15 constituencies was NNP, none for NDC.
Well, Cousin Keith?
It's Grenada. And then Barbados had the same. All 30 constituencies was BLP.
Mamie she blows on there last
went down bad.
And then now Jamaica, 49 seats for JLP, 14 for PNP.
All less.
St. Kitts as well. St. Kitts had another. But then it's a little
9 to 2.
Yeah, it's a little confusing because of the coalition for non-nationals. But it was 9 to 2 essentially. It's so same with Bahamas in 2017. They had another landslide. But
these things tend to go in cycles. So I remember a couple of years ago, there was they said, the winds of change are blowing across the Caribbean. Because it seemed like there was a change of government in so many different countries. But these things are in cycles.
Thing elections ain't coming up really, really soon too. Vinci?
I don't know.
Vinci in the middle of campaign.
Guyana had this year.
Trinidad. They're campaigning right now, yeah, you're right.
Trinidad had as well. Vinci gearing up to. This is election year in the Caribbean, essentially.
Yes,
but Jamaica also was supposed to be next year, but I guess they wanted to.
Watch out, never waste a good crisis.
Get it going fast, right? That's what.
Never waste a good crisis by COVID elections. But you see what things say in the chat here.
I'm about to. You got
our esteemed guy Richard here. He said it is interesting. Oh, sorry, I read it wrong. It is interesting to note that the last time this figure dropped to under 30%, this is Jamaica we're speaking about, was in 1983 when it was 29.49%, and the GLP won all 60 seats in that election year. It seems like the lower voter turnout works in favor of GLP.
Yeah.
So Andrew basically, it's the middle of COVID, people are coming out the house to vote.
So in 1983, the voter turnout was 29%. In 2020, the voter turnout was 37%. That's low. That's some really low numbers, actually. Like, worried.
So what it says is that PNP people are lazy.
Or it could also be
that come out the house.
Or it could also be that JLP might be lazy too. They just might say, you know what, we know we done win. Let me stay home.
Maybe it's just
that happened with Trump.
How much the people are into the party.
Right, but
some people just like religious about the party. Maybe JLP just have a lot of those staunch religious supporters.
That come out in the middle of a crisis. How we came in blind? We're going to vote.
We have a call. Caller, good morning. Caller? Oh, we lost the caller. Of course, feel free to call back. We'll patch you right through. But, that's what it is. Of course, Andrew Holness is still the PM. The PNP opposition had 3,925 votes. Patrick Roberts and Andrew had 7,199. So, more than... but we have the call. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies.
Good morning, morning.
See, I say that in that way because God made man, male, first. The woman wants to take over. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I ain't condemning women though, but
be careful here.
In 1983, when Jamaica had JLP had all the seats, it's because PNP boycotted. Because remember around the time, maybe you are too young to know, Jamaica had a lot of turmoil, a lot of murders. But they used to got like 900 and something people murdered and all of that. And then they wanted political electoral reform, and the Jamaica the PNP withdrew because Siaga called election in a short time, a kind of preemptive strike. Yeah,
snap election.
So that is why. But I'm a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party because it was part of the Democratic Union of the Caribbean. And it shares values like People's Action Movement. That's my party. But I thought you all would all the Labour Party they mean like, Cause I back near them in Barbados. But they got another Labour Party there, don't bother with them. They know where they're going. They didn't know where they were going. But I thought you all though would look at St. Kitts and Nevis when you're looking at who increased the margin and so forth. Increase the numbers.
Yeah, between last election and now, yeah.
And CCM increase the numbers. So in spite of the coalition, the increase so is basically the same pattern. But what I find happening over the years, I'm not a 19-year-old, is that it depends on the personalities, who up for election as leaders and so.
Yeah, definitely.
And also the kind of programs that they present. Okay, I know that. Okay, they have a lot of emphasis on young people, but I'm not one of those who. I'm not against young people because I was once young, but I like to see a mixture of youth and experience.
Of course.
I want the youth to take me through the leadership. I want to see experienced people there. In youth and experience, that's the mixture I want. So I think you are doing a good thing, and what you all are doing too is to expose young people who may be listening like you all, listen to you all rather, to get more involved in what's happening in the country.
Indeed.
So I think in many ways you all are doing a very good job. I like
Thank
some
you very much,
people
sir.
about what you are doing, When I'm ready for that, I'm going to come up with that. But
okay then.
basically, nothing ever perfect. So you all have a good day and a good weekend.
You too, sir.
Come on Saturday.
You do so. We'll talk to you again in about 15 minutes when you call back.
You can call back.
No problem. I swear. So,
All right. Hear you soon, because we know you can call back.
Boy, enjoy
right. We know you can call back. But let's jump to St. Kitts before we take a short break. Let's talk about St. Kitts and Nevis. Our COVID infection rate is among the lowest in the world. So St. Kitts and Nevis, our infection and mortality rates are among the lowest in the world, and PM Dr. Timothy Harris believes that total compliance with all restrictions and protocols is necessary to maintain this standard. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis activated a new set of regulations which took effect at 5 a.m. on Saturday, August 29th. Under the emergency powers, COVID-19 is such a long title. COVID-19 number 14 regulations of 2020. Under these regulations, the curfew that had been set in place since March 25th have been totally lifted. So we're just to remind you, we started all this March 25th. This is now September. And they've all been lifted.
Wow.
What's been lifted?
All of the regulations. Not all the regulations, the curfew. The curfew.
What you threatening me by it?
The curfew has been lifted. Totally lifted. So no more curfew. But speaking during the latest episode of Leadership Matters on Tuesday, PM Harris said that these standards of hygiene, wearing masks outdoors, social and physical distancing are critical to our policy of containment and the elimination of the disease, mitigating the overwhelming of the health sector and avoidance of deaths. He appealed to citizens to continue to adhere to all regulations and to avoid being lulled into a sense of complacency. I urge our young people in particular to do the right thing. None is too strong to die. Risky behavior in the face of COVID-19 is dangerous and can cause deaths. And honestly, what I do like about this is that it's just straight, no sugarcoating. Be safe, because we have this, we seem to be under this impression that you're healthy and young, you're safe, and that's not really the case. But PM Harris also said that adherence to the established regulations become even more important as the government prepares to open borders and the hotel sector in October 2020. So, all it's about is mitigating overwhelming the health sector, because that's the biggest reason why these countries have massive outbreaks, because health sector is overwhelmed and it falls apart from there.
We've been really building up resilience, like with all the ventilators coming in and all the training and all this stuff. Like that's the main thing. We know we have to open up, but at least build resilience prior to the opening. Right. All of the countries
just open and say.
Just opening. I was like,
free for all.
Let's see how it goes.
Don't forget your mask, but we open. But sort of training the public to be hygienic and wearing masks and social distancing prior to opening is a big factor, because when we do open, we are already in the habit of doing it. And to be honest, knowing Kittians and Divisions, they'll probably start getting on tourists' backs for not complying. Like if they see them out without a mask, it probably wear a mask. But October 2020, see you soon. And we'll take a very short break, and we will come back with more Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The symptoms of the coronavirus are similar to those of the common flu or cold, which are consistent coughing and sneezing, fever that does not go away, and difficulty breathing. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it is advisable to stay at home until you recover, or if you want to go to your doctor, call first and tell your doctor of your symptoms, any recent travel or contact with travelers. And lastly, please avoid spitting in public. Recent cases have shown that people most likely to be at risk if they contract the virus are persons over age 60 and persons that have an underlying medical condition such as hypertension, diabetes, kidney disease, or a respiratory condition. It is advisable to avoid large crowds or other places where you might have to come in contact with people who are showing signs of the coronavirus. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa or debit card can do.
Next in line, please. Next in line, please. Good night, welcome to Kevon.
Weren't you the same guy who... never mind. Can I get a number 1 and 15?
Excuse me? Excuse me? There's no number 15.
You take a 1 and a 5, you put them together and you make it huge.
Hey Al, this guy needs a number 1 and a number 15. Oh really? A 15? So your total is 4250?
Using your National Bank Visa debit or black card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Honey, which was the movie? You again?
Welcome to Caribbean Cinemas. You guys here for the kiddies party?
No, we're here for the big movie premiere.
That would be screen 4. Hope you enjoy the movie with your mom.
She's not my mom, she's my date.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Always here.
Welcome back to Island Tea with the
Ambushed
faves.
by.
Yeah, in here we just got bamboozled. So welcome back. Let's talk some more tea time. So, let's talk about something interesting that happened internationally. So, despite having, a public life, living as a black woman for years, George Washington University Associate Professor Jessica Krug, she admitted on Thursday that she is actually a culture leech. She is a white woman. Oh, we have a call. Before I continue with this, let's take the call. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, teachers.
I told you what you was gonna call back,
No, that was student number 1.
Okay, so this is student
This is
number
student
2.
number 2.
Okay, welcome to the classroom.
Yes, I'm here again.
Come to the front, please. And stand so we can hear you.
Yes,
Project your
because,
voice.
see, when we in the back, we have time to knock drum and fight cock and hen and make plain and do all kind of foolishness and distract the others who want to learn. So when you bring me up to the front, I don't have no time to play. Now, I want to say something to Jade. Jade, let me ask Jade a question. The people, the workers who build Brimstone Hill, do you think that they live only on couple branches of lettuce, couple slices of cucumber, couple slices of tomato and water?
Well, see, I would answer your question, but unfortunately, I wasn't there to speak to them, so I can't.
You wasn't there?
No, so I don't know what they ate actually.
Well, okay. From practical experience, I could tell you this. I raced bicycle all my life in St. Kitts and in the outer wall. And when you're gonna have to race 117 miles, you can't live on those kind of things in that kind of race there.
117 miles.
But
You need carbohydrate.
How are you assuming I'm saying that?
No, I ain't assuming nothing. I will listen to your diet.
So what
man saying if you want to
this sweet and that sweet.
Yeah, well, I said for me. Remember, I said for me. I didn't say for other people. I said for me.
Listen, no, I'm talking wide with a broad brush. You cannot be out there in the sun physically doing muscular, strenuous, hard work.
What if you're not, sir?
All day and live on those things. I'm just
Jade.
telling you from my experience.
Jade, if you want to be in the sun, you have to eat carbs.
Right.
Good thing I don't want to be in the
When we
sun.
out there running, when we out there running a full 26-mile marathon, 117-mile bike race. You know what the trainers bring up
miles?
alongside us and give us?
That's one end at 8 times.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody in here is a
we're not-
athlete.
We're not training for the 2022 Olympics. I'm sorry to disappoint you. We're not athletes of any sort in here.
Listen, man, Jed, I don't like that style, you know. I'm talking with a broad brush. I'm talking from experience. I ain't saying you. Individually.
The man say paint you in a broad brush. Listen.
Paint to the broad brush.
Just listen. You have to get carbohydrate in your muscles
For energy.
to refuel them.
For energy.
And you know what our trainers bring to us? They bring a liquid sweetened with what they call
Glucose, sir.
Yes, right, glucose. It goes to the muscles them very quick and it energizes them and you're able to go again. Now someone who working in an office all day, just sitting down moving a little piece of paper and writing on it with a pen, they can afford to use that kind of diet because they're not burning any physical energy.
That's exactly what Jada do here. That's exactly what Jada do. Wait on paper and move paper.
Okay then. So it takes no energy to do that. So your body can live on those greeny leafy thing and water for a very long time.
And cucumbers.
Go out there, go carry up them gun up on Brimstone Hill.
And this
Anybody
and the
will go
boulders.
along the last.
And the boulders, they take in.
All right, brother. So I'm just painting with a broad brush. I'm not accusing you. I'm just showing you the difference. The body cannot live without carbohydrate and what you call it, sweet. You must, when you get a little sting from a fish, what they call cavali, as long as this sting ain't gone too far, that requires doctors prescribe medication, All you need is some brown sugar in some water. Sweeten it, sweet, and drink it. And you knock out the poison there. You're strong again to go. Very strong. I'm talking from experience. And when student number 1 come in, he could tell you the same thing.
Student number 1, we're waiting for your call.
Okay, he's called.
Yeah, that's what I tell him, waiting for your call.
Oh, yeah, he's coming because he's listening. Emil, good morning.
He must be listening.
Okay. Okay then, teachers.
All right, later.
Yeah, continue listening. All right.
Hey, I think when FM need to have like an event for the top fans.
Oh yeah.
And there's a little breakfast, you know.
Something
over
small.
Bolo, you know, yeah, something.
Appreciation.
Yeah, a little breakfast.
Our loyalty program.
And we could argue in person.
Oh boy. But Kevin gets all his carbohydrates from fruits and his sugars as well.
I mean, you know,
a lot of sugar,
it's when you're not an athlete, you don't need so many things, and you don't need to stock up and all this stuff. So, you know, different diets for different people.
But what happens is, like, if your body doesn't have any use for carbs at a specific time, it kind of just goes around and goes, okay, what's going on in the liver? Liver like, hey, me want that there. Basically, just end up in your belly.
Right, which is my situation right now.
Yeah,
so,
they got. It ends up just storing it, and then you get this little the poof. They get the poof.
The punch.
Hey, and to all the girls who feel like men don't like the little poof and the little punch, right?
I want the punch.
I don't know.
Do you got a punch still, or your belly flat like a Slimmers?
Flat.
Flattish.
Flat-ish. You see that ish right there?
Yeah, I like the little punch on the front there.
Yeah.
I like the handle to hold on to. I like it. I don't like girls with flat bellies. So JJ can do.
What the next topic be back?
Kevon and yesterday.
No, I just tune out when you ask that. Right, so let's talk quickly. Let me see what topic we could jump into quickly. Oh, let me finish reading this. So, you know, a George Washington University associate professor, she admitted on Thursday that she is actually a culture leech. She said it herself. She called herself a culture leech. And she's a white woman. She said, for the better part of my adult life, every move I've made, every relationship I've formed has been rooted in the napalm toxic soil of lies. She's 38 and she writes in a brief but light-shattering Medium post titled The Truth and the Anti-Black Violence of My Lies. The self-proclaimed historian of politics, ideas and cultural practices in Africa and the African diaspora goes on to detail a lengthy trail of public deception. To an escalating degree, over my adult life, I have ensured my lived experiences as a white Jewish child in suburban Kansas City under various assumed identities within blackness that I had no right to claim. First, North African blackness, then US-rooted blackness, then Caribbean-rooted Bronx blackness, she said. I've built my life on a violent anti-black lie, and I have lied in every breath I have taken. She has a PhD and is the author of a book, Fugitive Modernities, which interrogates the political practices and discourses through which those who have fled from slavery and the violence of the slave trade in Angola forged coherent political communities outside of and in the opposition to state politics. You know, this is another, what's her name was?
Sandra Bland?
No, not Sandra Bland.
Oh, yes, Rachel.
Rachel Dozal. I can't remember her last name.
Yeah.
But she did the same. She was a white woman who presented herself as a black woman. She worked with the NAACP and deceived everyone into thinking that she was a black woman. She wore braids and...
Oh, she did that, they can't see?
Well, she presented herself as like a light-skinned black woman.
Like tan.
But she was actually like white though. Like.
She was white. Like her parents were full white people.
Yeah.
But, you know, she tanned. So she had
tanned
a little
deeply.
tint. She
tanned deeply and wear braids.
When she wore braids and, you know.
Have you never seen this lady?
You never seen her?
Oh, boy.
I can look it up.
I don't know, with nonsense, you know.
But now that was a big issue back then.
Memes.
I was about to say.
Memes are my life.
You sir are a meme.
It's true.
Yeah, so, here she is teaching history, presenting herself as a black woman, and now she finally comes out to say she's lied.
My thing is, why now? Like, what has been going on when they admit this? Like, what's, to me, just more attention seeking.
I don't like attention seekers.
All you have to do is just disappear into obscurity.
This is Rachel. Rachel. This is what she looked like when she presented herself as a black woman.
Yeah.
And it was successful.
Right,
it was successful, but here's the... It's wiped?
Don't swipe.
Let me see. That's her as a child and that's her as an adult. You can tell that the same person.
Crazy, right?
The blackfishing was successful.
This is the spray on tanner.
I don't know what it is,
It got
but
to be.
it worked.
Regular time no works up.
Yeah.
And wait for. This is spray on.
Yeah, spray on, yeah.
But,
What the hell?
And that's why we see a lot happening.
Crazy,
There's
right?
a lot of people that do, that take on black identities and are not black, and then it causes a massive disruption because there also are people who also represent the black community, like Rachel Dozier.
That's the issue.
She represents the black community as
That's
a
the
white
issue.
woman, and then now we have this professor, for years at George Washington University, who admitted that she's a white woman, not a black woman. But we'll take a very short break and we'll come back to more Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali.
If you have one, hold it up and say, must the brother colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. But stand you full of vibes, living full color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, must the brother colors in my life.
Two heart bleeds, one for the next. She coca like butter, good for the flesh. More treasure than the jewels round my neck. Down for my worst and my best. How could I not show what is earth from a jet? Code of respect, I'm feeling blessed cause you done did it to me. Day to day you died for the past, but now you living through me. And girl, you went into me. I like your size, I like your vibe. Besides, I like your style. Go ahead and smile. Flower, blossom on me. Came for the drops, the body on me. Praise God, got me a goddess on me. The pain's gone, she talking, she gotta love me. Showed you my ugly when time was lovely. You showed me you love me. Surely above me, I slowly hope that I pose as you hug me. She talking fast cars, she talking Paris for trips. She tripping off mad bras, ain't what she asked for. Yeah, she a rider not to feel tight. Fight for love, but she never had a real fight. And when we did fight, she tell me what it feel like. And when we did fight, I fought to till it's alright. Yeah.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, not featuring, but as I'm in the studio, and Jade on the OBS. I don't know what OBS mean, but let's jump into Eat Local, and we are joined by Eric Carter. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I don't think he's hearing me as yet. You hearing me? Good morning.
Carter, can you hear us?
Yeah, we not.
But
Oh, wait, hold on. Are you hearing us now?
No, play.
Yeah, so yes?
He's in hearing. I don't know what's going on.
Eric, you hearing us okay? I don't know. He's not.
As in play a song, you know?
Yeah, so let's play a song where we get this audio together.
Come talk to me. I feel like people watching me and you're not hearing. No, I'm not hearing.
No. Yeah, let's take a quick pause while we figure this out.
Just that about him.
Mm-hmm. No, we still.
Are we live?
Yeah, we still live. Let me see. Yeah.
Thank God for the joint.
You know what it is, you know what it's like. Pull up in the Benz, pull out on the bike. You know what it's like. Yeah. You know what it's like. Yeah. She the only one to get my vote. Eh. That's right, yeah. Starting in the foreign through the coast of the west side. She gon' be there for the boy. Legs spread, head and some other things, yeah. She gon' be there for the boy, yeah. Now you got a ring, plus the money ain't a thing. Girl, you know where we been, from St. Bronx to restaurants I never eat and whoa. I brought the squad, I brought the dog, just should've seen no game. Probably popping a popular bottle, 10 toes down for the homo. Push that gas, you won't follow. Flash in my past got you wet. Ask who I smashed, got upset. Called me a dog, so I called you my vet. Kept me alive, cause I could sign with a debt. Blessed with the essence of a goddess instead. I'm talking dollars and cents. I text her, I'm ready to roll. It took her like 20 hours to put on her clothes. And just that, she been attracted to fashion and dough. Yeah, seen it from the back, body dripping in gold. You know what it is, you know what it's like. Pull up in the Benz, pull out on a bike. Shopping out in France, doing what you like. I'm just a savage for the kiss in the middle of the night. You know what I like. She the only one to get my vote. Eh. That's right, yeah. Starting in the foreign through the coast of the west side. She gon' be there for the boy. Legs spread, head and some other things, yeah. She gon' be there for the boy, yeah. Now you got a ring, plus the money ain't a thing.
I don't know if nice guys finish last. I don't really give a but listen, I need to know you gon' make sure that I come first.
Look, trap, then she hit the mall. Gucci purse, she just a dog. She know her work, no pennies off. A nigga raised the finger, then she moving on. She by far the nearest to Allah. The God's made you for the dawn. The goddess in the know it's fine. She looking flawless in the light. She had a share scars. She ain't scared of all the height. She had a share falls. She ain't a stranger to them nights. She dreamt, she prayed, she balled. Despite all them tears and balls. Said it, let's go. You petty, I let you explode. Tell me you heavily flawed. I love the hell out of you though. You tell me you're leaving my ass. I said if you're leaving, just go. Respect if you ever left me. I'm glad that you never did go. You know? She the only one to get my vote. Eh. That's right, yeah. Starting in the foreign through the coast of the west side. She gon' be there for the boy. Legs spread, head and some other things, yeah. She gon' be there for the boy, yeah. Now you got a ring, plus the money ain't a thing. She the only one to get my vote. Starting in the foreign through the coast of the
And we are back. So let's jump into Eat Local. Are you hearing us okay now, Eric?
Hello.
Okay. we'll work on
a workaround.
We have a workaround. So, let's start off with the usual question that we ask everyone. Tell us who you are and what it is you do. There's gonna be a bit of a delay between the question and answer because of the workaround. So if you're listening, that's the workaround.
Well, I'll go by the name of E. Carter. What do I do? Just living my purpose out here. I make music, started from St. Kitts when I got into like the ZZ competition one point. And
Can you say that again? We won't really hear it clearly. So again, just to reiterate, the question is tell us who you are and what is it you do.
Okay, so I go by the name of E. Carter. Came out from St. Kitts. I got introduced to music. This is what I do. I did music for quite a few years now. Just been on and off, trying to balance like the work life. I did schooling out here, came out here for school, and then I got into the music. Still pursuing the music, man. But yeah, I mean, everything started from St. Kitts when I started in the competition, the ZZ competition.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first public start. So I wasn't really doing music just to do music. I was just doing music for my sake and my boys and my dogs. And then a song happened to, get out to the public. And then next thing you know, we did a video. And next thing you know, it was on ZZ radio and ZZ. I think they had this video thing that they used to do. Ever since then, I just kind of took it a little more serious. But I guess for me, I think people kind of expect that from me, but it was more so therapy for me at that point. It wasn't more for me to go public. But I mean, just to sum up what I do, I mean, that's what I do. Balance life, live my purpose, and try to do some music. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned a little bit about how you were making music for friends and stuff. Tell us, let's backtrack a little bit and tell us, when did you really realize you wanted to be a rapper?
When did I realize I wanted to be a rapper? I don't know. I felt like me traveling and being so heavily influenced by rap music, I wasn't always looking at it from a point of view like I want to get into it. But I guess when I heard Nas was one of my biggest influence, right? So I guess when I used to travel for summers and stuff like that, go to New York, go to Canada, come to Canada, it was just in the air. It was just all around, and that's what people consume daily. And I kind of got influenced by it and came back home. Then I started doing my own thing. So I guess that's how that came about when it comes to me realizing that I wanted to be a rapper. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us who are some. Tell us some of the people who influenced your style.
Who influenced my style? Okay, people like Nas. I think Nas, people like Rick Ross.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah, Rose, like Pop. I feel like Jadakiss, Kendrick. I feel like the art form, like people's lyrics and stuff, kind of coexist with like their style. If you're talking more about like their gear and their style and their style, I think people like Nas and those people who I kind of look to when it comes to tailoring my own kind of style. But I'm from the island, so we kind of move a little different. So I kind of mix that, put that in the blender, and yeah, that's how we came about the my style, E. Curtis style. But I mean, it's still in the pursuit of trying to find it entirely, but I mean, yeah, that's why that's the people I look up to when it comes to fashion and my style. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. So, you mentioned in the beginning, you mentioned the ZIZ competition.
Yeah.
Placing first runner up in it.
Yeah.
Did it give you an extra push?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I didn't even see myself being on that, to be honest. To be honest, I wouldn't even have been like public. I still feel as though I'm not even as public with the music, because it wasn't my first initiative. It wasn't my first thing to, say, let me come out and do music. Like I said, I did music for me and my dogs, you feel me? So I felt like when someone actually took it and kind of put it out to the public, and then the public kind of, hold on to it, they kind of expect me to actually do music now. So it was just one of those things where I was only using it for like therapy, where other people were seeing it like, okay, you should take it as an art form, you should really take it serious. So I mean, that's why it was a conflict between, how often I put out this music and how public I was with it. Because I still feel to this day I'm working on my craft, but I work on my craft to the point where, I mean, if you put me in the booth with anyone to this day, I feel like I can hold my own now. I can make a record, I can make something special. So I think that's where I'm at with it when it comes to that.
Okay, and you moved over to Canada. Has that helped and boosted your career in any way?
Yeah, more exposure out here. I mean, I don't know if I said it before. When I was down there in ZZ, but what happened was one time I went to a show. I think Drake and Tia was performing, and I was with my boys, and I guess we looked like rappers. I don't know what rappers look like, but the woman who was holding the back door for backstage, she just let us in. Like, she probably thought we was part of the crew. So I mean, when we got in there, I mean, I was with a couple of my boys, and as soon as we got in backstage, I saw Drake, I saw Tory Lanez, I saw Ti, and this is the first time actually seeing these people face to face. So it was like a different effect. Like, not to say that it's God, but you see like they walk and they're moving like God, so it's different. And I was like, I ain't seeing this in St. Kitts, unless it's like a music festival time. So I mean, like, it's exposure, and at that given time, you can actually, present your opportunity, have the opportunity to, kind of display your talent or even have a conversation with them. So I feel like out here, yeah, you have a lot, way more exposure. I already been played on the radio here. I mean, we got contacts to Tory Lanez. I mean, yeah, there's just more exposure here. So I mean, it definitely benefits and boosts my, music career, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you mentioned Tory? What was it like opening up for him?
It's cool. I mean, my main man, my boy, he makes music as well, me and Isha. Two of them grew up together. So I mean, they knew Tory Lanez, like, we knew Tory Lanez, like, we basically grew up together, childhood friends. So it wasn't nothing. It was an opportunity that I appreciate. And like I said, it opened up a lot of doors. So I mean, people started looking at me. I had record label owners reach out to me. But I think the thing is with me mostly is like, I just gotta put it out more consistently. Gotta be more public with it, So I mean, it's a balance in life, balance in music, and just trying to, put yourself in a position where, because my end goal is really to put myself in a position where even Safe It's Cats or homies down there could actually look at something that they know and actually try to thrive or even try to reach that level. So I mean, with me, I'm just trying to carry a certain torch, in my own little way. I'm just trying to go and say it's in my own little way,
All right, so Eric, when was the last time you released any studio work, whether it's a EP, a single? So the folks listening can.
I just dropped a song on Biggie's birthday.
Repeat that, sorry.
I just released a song on Big birthday. I think.
Okay.
I think it was like March or April, one of those days. But I kind of made the song around his like, you know, his style. And if you check the cover art, I mean, it's called Bigger. If you go on like SoundCloud, Apple Music, any other streaming platform, music streaming platforms, you'll find it. E. Carter, Bigger, Bigger. So that was something I did just to show like respect or tribute to like Big and like East Coast rap.
Nice.
So I felt like, yeah. But I have like an EP coming too, right?
Here we go.
Called For the Dogs then. To be honest, and believe it or not, this will be my first full body of work. You know, so I'm
This is your first full body?
Yeah, because I feel like I have like millions. I have like tracks. Like this is years of music that I have like working on my craft, and you know, I just haven't been putting it out. And sometimes it's not even about the music, because I mean it's a science behind music, you know, because it's more than how good you are. You could be the best rapper, but at the end of the day, you're trying to take it. You gotta kind of put yourself in positions where, you know, I mean, certain ears can hear you, so then you can push you to the next level. So I mean, with me, it's more strategic than anything. I don't want to just put out music just to fall on deaf ears, or put out music to be like, oh, he's nice. I ain't doing it for that. I'm doing it for a bigger purpose than that. So I'm kind of being strategic with it. So, you know, when that tape drop, I can actually walk up in them labels office and, you know, have leverage at that point, you know, and then kind of negotiate some good business and then try to put people in positions too. So, I mean, it's way bigger than the music that a lot of people, or that what I had to learn, you know, that in this kind of game. So, yeah, I'm working on a tape For the Dogs then. It's a little bit spiritual, a little bit gangster, you know? It's real informative, something that people can relate to. You see what times we're living in right now, you know, like black people, you know, and it's just more so like just coming from a point of aspect of, you know, this is what we demand and this is who we are. It's like I represent people who you probably might write off already in life just because, you know, they probably didn't graduate high school or they didn't fit the status quo, you know, the big guy in the corner or the nerd who they probably just say, okay, he don't fit the normal, you know, people. I just do it for those kind of kids and those kind of people that people look different, you feel me? Because I ain't even like the status quo thing. I don't like to be put in my box in any way. Because I was the same cat. I went to university, but still chill out on the block, you know. Because who's I can do it, you know. So I mean, like, I kind of it's a rare air to be in, but yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. But it's gonna be a solid tape for sure. Probably gonna be one of the best tape coming out in this rap wise.
Well, trust me, I believe you. I believe you. So how many tracks are we looking to get from this EP?
I'm aiming for 8. I'm aiming for a solid, nice 8 pack, 8 piece, because I want people to actually just have a good, you know, a good meal, like just, you know, just to listen to it, but like not too much, really kind of saturated, you know. So I feel like after I give them that 8 piece, then I have a follow up with something more female oriented, but this is more strictly for the dogs and something that's, you know, something you can learn from, because I spit a lot of game. I'm more of a content based rapper, so it's not like I just rapping just for rapping's sake. You know, I have a lot of little jewels, little messages in there that, you know, I intentionally put in there just so years to come when people look back on the body of work, they can see where I was mentally, you know.
Yeah. So currently on the streaming platforms, in Apple Music, YouTube, you know, SoundCloud and so on. What kind of numbers are we talking about in terms of tracks that you have actually streaming right now that people can actually log on and listen to? Like, can I go on SoundCloud or YouTube Music and play e-carto for 4 hours in my car?
For 4 hours, no. You can play for like probably half an hour. You know, I have songs where you can play for half an hour or so. But for the streaming platform is a new thing, right? So I mean, all of the music I did in the past, it wasn't on like the Apple
of course,
Spotify or So whatever. So I only have like basically 3 solid songs on the Apple or Spotify or all the other platforms. YouTube is more where I have the videos as well, right? So I mean, you can find those stuff there once you type in E Carter. Yeah, I think things will pop. I think my music will pop up. You know, I'm not that of a nobody, but I mean, I think my music will show up a little bit. Something has to show up. Right? So I mean, I hope. But
You
I
hope?
mean, I'm doing good on like when it comes to the new platforms, like just like the recent song I did, one of the songs that you're playing. She the only one to get my vote. That has like over what 50,000 streams right now. Right? So I mean, people are listening. People out here is listening too. And I mean, shout out to like people like Chivo Gold. You've been jamming it too. I've been getting messages like up your bowl, kind of, you know, taking the touch and running with the songs. So I mean, come down to the support too. So I mean, right as of now, it's like half an hour you can play the songs, but I mean, eventually, soon. I already just bought a studio. Like I just literally bought all the gears from my studio. So
Oh, okay, that's good.
A lot more consistent on a consistent level, as opposed to just depending on people all the time, because there's a lot of things that go into it, right? So we should be hearing a lot more songs from your people.
Brilliant. And we're definitely looking forward to you know uploading more of your content to the streaming platform, because that's the way the world going right now. Like we don't buy CDs anymore.
I can't even play a CD.
I'm telling you, I don't even own CDs.
I'm telling you, and this was a funny story because Nas came to Canada probably like last year or year before, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet this man, right? Because that's just like the person who I look up to when it comes to music. Like he's like, yeah. But for me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna definitely go to the show and I'm gonna go backstage, whatever it costs, I'm paying. I don't care. Because I just gotta meet this man. And I take it on myself to actually the night before going to the concert or whatever, I went to the Apple store and I bought like on these little iPads, right? Like you play the video on and play the music on. So I was like, you know what? I can't get this man no CD. He in like 2018. I'm like, I can't get this man a CD. What the hell, I look like giving this man a CD in 2018. So I bought the iPad, I put all my music on it, I engraved my name, my number on it, and on the night of the show, I mean, I remember being on stage, on the side of the stage, watching him perform. Him and Lauren Hill was here.
Oh my word!
And I have the picture, I have everything with them. And meanwhile, while he was on the stage, I'm just kind of analyzing how, you know, putting myself in that position and actually having that crowd, you know, react. And it was a special moment for me. And I feel like at that point, I knew like, oh, I wanted to actually be, you know, like I really wanted to have that impact. So I mean, I talked to his tour manager while he was on stage, and I was like, basically, I want to give him this, you know, and he was like, do it, because a lot of people freeze up when they meet him or whatever. But not me. I ain't freezing up. I've seen this man all my life on TV. You know what I mean? So I finally got into the room and I froze up. Yeah,
of course.
I was like, damn, like he's literally like it's different, you know. He's like a different.
I understand,
you know? When you
yeah.
look up, you know, when you look up to somebody like for so long, and like you see them on TV, and you're hoping that in person that they are the person that you think they are. So I think that was one of the things that was crossing my mind all the time. And then when I walked eye to eye with him, first thing he said to me was, I saw you rocking the Gucci links, because I had a bunch of Gucci links on, like just, you know, just vibing. So the minute he said that and he know what Gucci links are, I was like, okay, this is the same cat that I long time. So then we dapped each other, and like, I mean, it was just a moment. And I pull out the iPod after we talked, we're speaking, and I was like, you know, this is a, you know, token of my appreciation here. And then Lauren Hill came over and she was like, that's love, you know? And then when she stopped, it's like, when she speaks, it's like everyone in the room went quiet, you know? Because
Lauren got a power bass.
Lauren Hill, but Lauren Hill has a different presence.
Miss Hill?
Like, yeah, in person she's different. When she said that, that was like verified for me. So I gave him, and believe it or not, Nas is the first person that has the tape that I'm about to drop. I can't tell you if you listen to it or not. I don't care. I put it in his hand, right? But he's the first person that has the whole tape. So
Okay,
I
then.
mean, I'm happy to actually say that. That's
Mhm.
the first time I actually said that. But I mean, yeah, and that's how that little story went with Nas and Lauren Hill. Yeah.
So tell us what's coming up next for you.
I mean, the album or the tape. I'm dropping the tape. I'm trying to drop a little series, a little video. Not video. I have music videos that I'm working on currently. I'm
Mhm.
working on 2 more before I actually drop the tape. I'm also working on like a little series for the whole tape for the dogs. Then like I'm still working with my director in regards to like which route we're gonna take with it, what content, and you know what we're gonna address in that series. But I mean, other than that, I'm just working on networking and trying to put myself in the best position to do the best business when that time comes. You know.
Mm.
Yeah.
So like I know you keep the link back here real tight. Yeah, who are some of the artists and the rappers here that you link with and that you admire, like the craft and the pen?
But to me, I keep my I keep my ears around more than anything. Right, I'm the type to just kind of preach and just make sure everybody's doing the thing. Because with me, I'm a forward thinker. I'm also kind of see myself. I kind of more so focus on what I'm doing because I need to get in a position where when I'm in that position, people who's already stayed down and been doing the thing that I could put in position as well. They may not know that, but that's how I think. You feel me? So when you look at the people, the people we already know, I mess with what infamous, pleasure, nature. I mean, all of them, footsie, all of them, right? So I mean, I keep my ears close to St. Kitts music just to see who's rising. I mark talked to the other day about just making something special. But we connected. I know everyone just doing their own thing. At the end of the day, I think the common goal should be getting Saint on the map, and that's my goal at the end of the day. Not just to create like a household name and kind of make us establish and put some respect on Saint Kitts, man. That's just my mission, and just shed some light on the areas in St. Kitts where people don't really get to see, because there are a lot of things that go on in St. Kitts that people just don't know how to convey or put in a rap song, and I think that's my pocket. I can actually speak on it because I mean I already seen all of that stuff, so I feel like that's my strength, that's my pocket, and yeah, that's my view on that.
Nice.
Well, Kato, it was we're almost at the end. We have about 4 minutes left.
Okay.
After we leave you, we have to wrap up the show and thing. But we want to thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah. No
I believe the last time I saw you was about 10 years ago.
About
that. You wasn't over in Halifax?
Yeah, I was in Halifax. Yeah.
Back from how long now? Like 5 years, 6 years,
4.
7 years? Yeah.
About 4 years. Yeah, I think. Ain't more than 4. Yeah. About 3.5, 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but while I was up there, I hardly came to Toronto. I came to Toronto like once or twice, and it was like for a couple of days. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was good, talking to you here and getting an update on the happenings, what's going on with Ikato. Very insightful.
Yeah, for sure.
So hopefully when the EP drops, we can have you back so we can discuss the waves that I know it will create.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you guys at the end of the day. I mean, we need more like this. We need more like this in St. Kitts especially. So I mean, you guys continue doing it, right?
Yeah, man.
And I mean, I as a person don't forget things at the end of the day. Appreciate the opportunity, and when that time comes, when that album drop or whatever big endeavors I have, I mean, I'm sure to let you guys know, and then we can kind of debate it and discuss it, you know.
Indeed, yeah.
Go from there, right?
All right, man. Well, thank you very much, and it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
I know the weekends in the 6 are wild.
It's crazy, but you already know what's going on with this COVID stuff, man.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're gonna turn up, you know.
All right, then, cool. Take it easy, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. Peace out.
All right, and that was a very up close and personal and intimate interview with E. Carter, originally from St. Kitts, but he now resides in Toronto, Canada, in the 6 with his woes. Whoa.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, man. Like Carter is one of the most talented people to ever come out to this country, especially in the realm of rap music. Like, I remember the first time I saw him perform, it was in Cannibal Village, many moons ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought he wasn't from here. I asked him, I said, "We be?" I said, "But that's Carter." I said, "Carter, who can?" Yeah,
Eric.
I was like, wow, like this man's command of the microphone is unreal. Even when he was a lot younger, so it's good to see that he's still doing his thing and pushing for the music. And rap isn't something that's really popular in St. Kitts, so he in the right place.
Yeah.
He in the right place. But that brings us to the end of our show. We don't want Sandra to curse us.
Sandra loves us.
So I'm going to leave here before the clock strikes 10, just so that she doesn't put her hand in my face, because I'm not going to take it. You'll take it, ready?
You'll take it and you'll like it, actually.
She's not here? Yeah, because we don't hear. She's more a long time. They be along.
I think Sandra enjoys arguing with us every Friday. Like, it's the highlight of her day. She comes in here to argue with us.
Let me see my time.
She's not up there? Wow, that's a first.
Because she know how it's taking up your time. She just stop coming early. Wow. Anyway, we're leaving. Have a great weekend. Drive safely. If you're going to tropics, don't drink too much and drive. I can't say don't drink and drive because that would be unrealistic. And don't forget that when you're going to the event, please to bring valid photo ID and your mask and your ticket. And you'll be scanned for your temperature upon entry. Your ID will be scanned as well, just so they know who all is inside the venue, and have a good time. Have a great time. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I'm just really happy to go and eat.
I'm sure you are.
We've been fasting.
Yeah, because remember we say when you're fasting, you look forward to your meal.
Oh.
I take about meal for the whole time in here.
Scrumptious.
Delicious.
And it's Friday, so on Friday treat yourself something nice.
What's something nice for you though?
Goat water. I really like goat water.
You like goat water?
I love goat water.
I don't know, something nice for me. I don't usually eat like lots of meat and so. Like my diet consists mostly of fruits and vegetables and some seafood.
Right.
But sometimes I actually love to sit down in front of a pile of grilled pork.
Ribs
from the man.
Wow.
From the man down there by Ark and thing.
Yep.
Pork man.
That is a
I'm
spot.
probably gonna do it today because if I eat meat, my belly gonna be kind of bloated. I don't want to take off my clothes tomorrow at tropics.
Right.
So I'm probably going to go by Shamari on Market Street and get some fish. And then go home and make a salad. And consume it with a glass of water.
Oh yeah, I have salad in my future right now. That's what I know.
Yes.
With some
and because I'm
sweet
big,
onion vinaigrette and feta cheese. Feta cheese, a little feta cheese, and a sprinkle of craisins on top.
Yes, to the craisins.
Dude, do you know they sprinkle on top of my salads? Parmesan.
A little parmesan, a little feta.
Parmesan and feta, bro.
And because I'm big in the salads now, I have like a wide range of dressings.
You know exactly
different kinds of ranch.
What balsamic guy?
One of my favorite greens for lettuce is actually arugula. I actually really like arugula.
Yeah, very aromatic.
But it's not for everybody because it's a bit tangy bitter. So it's not for everybody.
I only use arugula if I'm using balsamic. If I'm using balsamic vinegar.
It's a good balance.
Yeah, good balance.
I love balsamic, but I don't use it as much as I used to.
I love balsamic.
Because nowadays I'm really into the creamy stuff. The bacon ranch and the vinaigrette as well. The onion vinaigrette, the Vidalia.
The sweet, no, you put that on anything.
Sweet onion.
You put that on anything. You put that on
sandwiches.
Like, it's true. Anything.
That there is just the secret sauce, like from Good Burger.
Put it on me right. Put it on me right, Bina.
What's wrong with you?
I know.
Please come for your child.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, we are leaving, but don't forget
that you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug.
You walk out and just leave the thing them going in. Oh yeah, God, find a trend this year.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9.